Alright, hey people, what's going on? It's another episode of Two Bears, One Movie. And
My god.
we watched a Nicolas Cage movie, didn't we?
And it was just as bad as the rest of them.
Playing a little bit of gun game here in CSS because we're trying to get Anthony to be a PC gamer, and I figure this is the best way to do it.
Oh yeah, or the worst way. We'll see. So far, I'm just unbearably bad.
The only person I know who's good at this game is probably, well, obviously APL Fisher and Spoon. That's it.
Well, APL's been playing this game since like beta, hasn't he? He's like
birth. Season of the Witch, which is actually one of my favorite Donovan songs, by the way.
I think it's the only Donovan song I've ever heard.
That and Atlantis are my two favorite songs of his.
Did you say Land Tits?
Atlantis. Land Tits. That would be a way better title.
Mountains. Mountains are land tits.
But basically, from what I remember of this movie, it's about the Dark Ages, when there's like Black Plagues, and Ron Perlman and Nicolas Cage are like, yo, I don't want to kill women and children in the name of God, so we're leaving. And they're like, okay, fine, fuck you. And then they get captured, and this king who's like dying of the plague is like, yo, this witch is casting spells on my town, so we're taking her over to the monks, and they're going to determine if she's a witch or not. You're going to do it, because otherwise we're going to kill you, because you're a fucking deserter, and we hate you, heathen.
It's either joy... What am I just... What? It's either go on a journey towards your death,
or die.
Yeah, it's you know... And of course, you know, Nicolas Cage being the active hero that he's always been, chose, you know, the death route, which would have been either route.
Yeah.
So they go on his journey.
And I lost my notes, but the one note I did have was that Ron Perlman is physically incapable of turning down any roles that are offered to him, which explains his role in this movie.
What was his? Wasn't he Hellboy?
He was Hellboy.
He was Hellboy. I was about to say, I think he was Hellboy.
I like Hellboy. I like the Hellboy movies.
Great movie. Great. Hellboy 2 was fantastic.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro. You can never go wrong with him, even though Mama looks terrible.
Mama does look kind of bad, yeah. So basically they take this witch in a carriage, and then she's I don't know. It was really hard to tell if she was like fucking with them the whole time or something. I don't know. She's supposed to be like, you know, proclaiming that she's not actually a witch, but she keeps doing these really blatantly witch-like things. Like, this dude almost falls off a bridge, and she just grabs him by, like, one hand and pulls him up with superhuman strength. And then, she calls for her wolf friends, and they attack out of nowhere.
The scene where, what's his name, the knight that lost his family, when he's in this little pit with the mustached wonder, I can't remember his name, and she's, like, acting like she's his daughter. Just, you know, and the whole point of the plot was her trying to, you know, was for them to give her a fair trial to prove that she's not a witch.
Yeah.
But then, you know, constantly throughout the film, before Nicolas Cage has his infamous mental breakdown, it's like, oh, there's a big booty bitch! Before he starts having his mental breakdown, you know, that he has in every movie.
Every time. It's not a Nick Cage movie if he doesn't scream for no reason, you know.
Yeah, but when she was calling out to him, like acting like he was, or she was his daughter, and then like you said, the bridge scene, and then the one with the, I think you, because you had
dude, hold on, I just got a fucking triple, by the way. I just wanted to put that out.
God, I'm having trouble keeping my train of thought. It's just, it's one of those movies where it could have been more than it was, but the plot was just such a thin. It's like
it was so razor thin, and they just made lots of stupid decisions, like story wise, that just didn't make any sense, and
there were no
make you feel like a fucking genius for putting up with the goddamn movie, you know.
That guy just got fucking turned on. I just shit in your fucking mouth. But you know, when you see like an action movie or a drama like that, you expect some sort of like maybe a romantic subplot or, you know, some sort of backstory, and there's really nothing. I mean, they cover the backstory in like 3 seconds. You know,
they flash back to the scene in the beginning where he like kills a woman by accident 4 fucking times, just to like they have to like get that out there. Like, remember, he's conflicted about his work with God. Like, there is depth here. Please feel the depth.
One of the things I really hit on in yesterday's attempt at recording this was how, you know, it was perfectly and ethically okay for Nick Cage to kill hundreds probably thousands of men for free alcohol from Ron Perlman, but as soon as he stabbed one woman in the stomach, just within seconds...
Now he's got a problem with this whole thing.
Yeah, it's all just a problem. You know what? And Ron Perlman was just like, I agree. Whatever.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Whatever,
and I
I'm
feel like it's like... the beginning of the movie is like this really stupid montage of them going from city to city, killing in the name of God, killing all the heathens for God. And it's like, in all that time, like, they're going from country to country. It's the Crusades, right? In all that time, that was the first time they had to deal with women and children. Like, the other cities didn't have kids or women. Yeah. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I see, I don't quite buy that either, because, I know a little bit about the Crusades, and there was actually, like, children warriors in these Crusades. So I know they were killing people.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Young and perhaps have a vagina. Normal stuff for a war.
But, the accents, the lack of accents.
That was definitely expected.
I mean, I knew like Nick Cage probably wouldn't put on an accent, like a full accent, but he does like kind of sound hoity-toity Shakespearean at times. The thing is that like there are actors in it who are legitimately British, and they do American accents for no reason.
Yeah, they're in European countries, but speaking without any sort of accent, which, I can understand in a sense, because maybe some of them would actually even be speaking different languages. But it's, sort of like when you watch an old World War II movie and all the Germans just speak English with a German accent kind of deal.
Yeah.
Which, always, it still makes me laugh, but just the fact that there was, like, no sense of accent. Am I shooting the right people? I'm just shooting everybody. No, that was the right guy, and he killed me. Just, like you're saying, the lack of accents, and then, that one guy you pointed out to me that played Al Capone with his...
Oh, yeah, like, he's really British, and he was doing his Al Capone voice for no reason.
Body just flew across the fucking earth. Okay. Now, I'm okay with us recording, like, a long session, just piecing together the best parts, because, we're playing, and then we're trying to remember these shitty scenes.
They're all so shitty. It's like the only scene that was impressive was the wolf scene. It was like the entire budget went into that scene. The rest of it, like, they got a couple good locations and some decent, like, vast shots of valleys and forests and stuff, but for the most part it looks just like kind of...
Well, they only shot on location, looks like, for one scene, which was leading up to the Wormwood Forest. But everything else was just I swear to Christ, I've seen better green screening on Tim and Eric. Like, it was absolutely horrendous, some of the scenes, like the wide-angle castle that looked like
God, the widest angle lens ever used in film. You can see, like, you don't even have to have an eye for filmmaking to see the edges are bending, like, very obviously bending, like what they do with wide-angle lenses. It looks so bad. It looks like a skate video.
The Jedi scene with the dagger.
Oh yeah, the chick starts throwing daggers like left and right at fucking Nicolas Cage, and he deflects them with a little sword or something.
It's not like he was like using like a compound bow where you could see him like reach back and notch the arrow and all that stuff. They were fucking crossbows. and Nick Cage just stared this man in the eye, pulled out his dagger, and said, "Nah, bitch, nah," and just deflected him. It's like it was
Nah, bitch.
And it had the really, like, classic, like, really shitty, like, 70s cuts where it'd, like, show the guy's face, like, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot this arrow." And then it just pans to Nick Cage. Or it doesn't even pan, it cuts. Straight to Nick Cage, just, like, wide-eyed. Like he always looks. Like, "Nope. Sorry. Got this dagger. No arrows. You will die." From one comedic line.
They tried a couple jokes in the movie that just fall goddamn flat, like crazy flat.
Biggest issue with their comedic delivery was the editing. Like, the first comedic line in the movie is Nick Cage talking to Ron Perlman about something, and he's just, he cracks this line, but at the same time, they're still playing the dramatic, sad music from, like,
yeah.
ending, so, like,
it starts with them talking about, I don't know, God or something, and then they segue into a joke for some reason, but they didn't stop the soundtrack with like a womp. So what would you give this movie out of 10?
Out of 10, if I was basing it off of a few different things, which I always do. So as far as visuals, I just can't. It was that bad, except for bar the one scene. But in total, I'm floating. Science.
I'm floating.
I was going to give it a 3 out of 10. And I would recommend you not ever rent or watch, and don't watch it on Netflix. Just watch some of the highlights on YouTube. Particularly the wolf scene on Wormwood. Just watch that one and then watch the final scene. I'll give it a 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
And, that was my thought throughout the movie. 3 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5, and it gets the extra half a point for Nick Cage's hair.
Yeah. By the way, that's gonna be my last statement for the entire movie. Nick Cage's hairstylist was Chad Kroeger of Nickelback.